Let no man deceive himself. If any man among you seemeth to be wise in this world, let him become a fool, that he may be wise. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. For it is written, He taketh the wise in their own craftiness. And God said, Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. For the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, and he hath set the world upon them. The world also shall be stable, that it be not moved.
All right. Hello, everyone. Hope you can hear me good. I am excited to be back. I have the soon-to-be world-famous filmmakers, David and Sarah Fesiuk. I'm going to go ahead and bring them on. They have a really cool announcement. A lot has happened since we last tried to promote their film. So, hello, you guys. How are you?
Hey, doing well.
Doing great.
Excited.
Very
Blessed
excited.
to have you here doing this stuff, and putting yourselves out there like that. Having a name for yourself in the film industry is huge. So starting out, I mean, you guys have already had films that have had some success in film festivals, but tell us a little bit about yourself for people who maybe didn't see our original video, and we'll talk about the big news right after that.
Okay.
Well, we are filmmakers. We done a couple indie films, actually one indie film. We did the cinematography for it. A lot of our daytime job, though, right now is weddings. We've been shooting a lot of weddings, but we're in commercial work, but we're transitioning into the film world. And hopefully our main goal is to promote good, wholesome Christian films. And that's our main goal, because a lot of the Christian movies are very, they feel a little cheesy a little bit, but the most important thing is to put truth out there.
Or they don't have enough information in that's actually biblical. It almost feels like with some Christian films, feels like it's your Hollywood film with the name Christian on top of it. And then they say God maybe twice.
Yeah.
So we want to kind of change that a little bit. And I've seen some pretty good Christian films out there, but it's just like, feels like you're hand picking to find those. Like one of them was The Case for Christ. Have you ever seen that one?
No, I haven't.
Oh, that one's good.
That was a really good one.
Check that one out. But
Yeah, I stopped. Let's see, I like the Facing the Giant stuff with the cheesy, like Southern actors, but you could tell they've just thrown this stuff together and done the best they can. And and if it's a movie like that, it may seem like, man, you could tell they didn't have a lot of money, but it could still make you cry. It could still get you emotional. It can still alter the path of your life. And I like that's what I see. That's what you guys are wanting to do, is alter the path of somebody's life. They may think they're going into this film and having no clue. I mean, what's the name of the film that you guys are wanting to make?
The one right now, or the
the one we're about to do.
Oh, okay. I thought, because we have other stuff too. Okay, go ahead.
We're doing a documentary called Origins Untold, where we look into the flat Earth and where God's cosmology. And so the idea is to get to know these people, us, because there's a stigma on us as conspiracy theorists or some whack job in the basement or something like that. But we want to get into people's lives, get intimate, and show that they're normal people doing normal jobs, and but show some experiments at the same time to reveal where we truly live, and
even also connected just with the Bible more in depth, and hopefully get it into a broader audience, because it's one thing to have the same people watching over and again. You know what I'm saying? So the internet, you have people that are all about the globe, but they're the aggressive ones. Do you know what I mean? And then you have obviously us out there. But be nice to reach to people that have never even heard of this before. Yeah,
we want to do where it's like the viewer kind of first comes in skeptical, and then at the end of the film, they're like, maybe I should look into this. That's kind of the main idea for it.
That's a good approach, because we all came into this really skeptical, thinking, I don't want to be deceived by some YouTube movement, some stoner hippie movement where these guys are new agers and they're falling for this stuff. Like, I want to prove that this is true. And that's a really good approach, is to have somebody who's skeptical, and maybe somebody that goes into it kind of like, no, there's no way that this is true. We have way too much proof. And then you go through and you see the experiments along the way, them asking the questions that we ask, because there's thousands of them and you get them every day. And it's easy to get angry when people ask a question you've seen 1,000 times, but we're not targeting the people who have been researching this for 7 years or so now. We're getting a lot of people coming into this stuff brand new. I think when we last met, we were at Flattoberfest, and they said, raise your hand if you've been in this for a year. And half the room, the hands went up. And I'm like, man, we have so many new people that still have questions. And so, yeah, this is a genius way to reach a new audience and bring it to people. And that, to me, that's why I think it's so brave. For me, I was terrified getting on here and doing live streams when I first started doing this, thinking I'm going to get in trouble at work, but everybody already kind of seems like is figuring this stuff out and figuring out what I believe. And I feel like we're running out of time, to where it's time for us all to just start coming out of hiding, get more bold, and realize that this truth is really important. It brings people to the Father who have never given him a chance. It makes people read the Bible who've never read the Bible. And I've seen that happen time and time again.
Yeah, it brings us closer to our Creator. He's right above us, So that's...
Oh, I don't know if I shared this with you, but so we flew to Texas to visit my dad. This is a side note. But like back in the day, I didn't realize how close he was when I thought we had a galaxy over our head. But I no longer have not really, I didn't have a fear of flying, but I feel more comfortable now because I know God is literally right above my head. Do you know what I'm saying? That comfort of knowing that he's that close and no longer feeling like he's like galaxies away.
Yeah.
It's so different. Anyways, that was just I know.
No, that's a good point, because I was flying to Australia, and I remember sitting there. We were on this long flight, and I was kind of just bored laying there, and I thought, you know what? Why am I bored? This is awesome. I am closer to the firmament than I ever will be, unless I'm flying in a plane or if I start getting into the balloons and going up really high. Like, it's rare that you're that close. So it's just like, it's that cool feeling. Like, man, I used to just think I was close to this vacuum and nothingness.
Yeah.
And here I am.
That's funny,
But yeah, I pulled up for you guys wondering what's on the screen here. That's a little snapshot of the concept film. What would you call that? Cover photo?
Yeah, it's just the cover photo.
It's pretty cool looking, right?
Yeah, it's really cool. Like, I would going through the movie store. I remember back in the day going through, judging every movie by its cover.
Yeah, that's so funny.
That's what I did. Yeah,
I would pick this one up. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
This the short, it's really cool because it was meant for, to showcase what we can do for the documentary, but the film itself has already touched people and made people think about, this concept, the cosmology, flat Earth. But, it's really even cool that that film itself is doing good work already. Like, we've heard people crying and stuff after watching it, which is awesome.
Yeah.
To hear.
So. It bringing you back to that significance of how close we, us being the center of creation. And I'm just in my mind, just thinking of the ripple effect this will have. It's powerful. And we reached out. You guys have been trying to get funding, reaching out everywhere you can. And we were one of those people you reached out to. And I had the pleasure of meeting you guys in person. And I know a lot of people are very skeptical about film due to the past, due to the Netflix documentary type of things. And I would have probably been the same, but I was fortunate. I got to meet you guys in person at one of our local gatherings up in Harrison, Tennessee. We had, and so right away, I see these two people, humble. They're kind. They come up. You can talk to them, and they weren't bragging. They were never like, we're these rising star filmmakers. You would never gather that. And then they send you some links to their work, and I start looking through it, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I didn't realize when I was talking to them, this young couple, I thought you guys were like in your early 20s. I don't know, you probably are, but you've done so much. You've come a long way for your young age, so that's something good to have too. The youth aspect of it, somebody that's younger that can relate to younger audiences, and you have the talent you have. So it was cool, and it helped set me at ease. Like, these people are real; they're not somebody from Hollywood, coming in here trying to make a mockery, behind, what was that movie called on Netflix that came out behind, or documentary?
Something about Behind the Curve. I didn't
Behind
even
the Curve. I made
Yeah.
one called Below the Curve, just to respond to their nonsense. But
I would like to add, because I don't know if you guys watched
Yeah.
behind the scenes on it. Like, I know they did a terrible job depicting what was going on the movie, but they were actually not so bad about talking about the people behind the scenes, which is very surprising. They should have been more upfront about what they believed in, though.
Yeah,
that was
the trailer.
fault.
Like, just watching the trailer
Yeah.
makes flat Earth people look stupid. Like, it was
yeah.
It kind of hurt watching just the trailer.
Yeah, it was very shocking.
It's terrible that it kind of like ruined people. But here's the thing, like, I don't know. I just feel like you have to open yourself out once, because you just never know who's going to be able to help the movements. Because like, if you're always closed up, you're never going to know there might be an opportunity.
Well, you think of the scripture, which I don't have the exact scripture in my head, but I know Jesus, I believe, talks about not putting a basket over the light.
Yeah.
So when you have something that is truthful, that is honest, like, who cares? Because I mean, even Jesus was persecuted, right, in life. So people need to stop being afraid of persecution too. We're called to be persecuted, right?
Yeah.
We're one calling we have in life other than preaching the gospel. He says not to hide it under a basket. Let the light shine.
Yeah.
So when you have like those tidbits, those things that are actually going to help people, like the information, God gave it to you because he wants you to give it to somebody else.
Yeah. I thought I mentioned it last time, but this, cosmology of what we live in, it's part of the kingdom message that Jesus was trying to preach, because Jesus is coming down with New Jerusalem, and that is part of the kingdom. That it kind of explains where we live, and that's why this documentary is more than just proving flat Earth, but it's kind of preaching the gospel. It's a slice of it for sure, but it's not the main part of it. But it's a big slice.
Yeah.
It's powerful. And so you guys, when I had you on, you said, David, I had a dream that we got funding overnight. And you said it'd be really cool if that happened. And we did the video, we put it out, and it just seemed like we weren't getting a lot of support, and there was a lot of haters. And it was kind of, you guys called me, you were kind of bummed out. I was bummed out, and I'm like, man, you had these people willing to do this, and people are just so skeptical and just kind of like, oh, this could be a hit piece on us. And but what's happened since then? So I mean, made a huge announcement.
I was expecting like a lot of like good feedback and a lot of excitement, but it's okay. It's kind of what it is. But it was really cool. So I had the dream that I knew we were gonna go live. I had a dream that we're gonna get funded overnight. I kind of mentioned it with you guys, and then what happened is we got an email that same day after we went live. And
specific person,
we're not going to name because that's what they wanted, but they pretty much said we're going to donate a certain amount that's good enough to like be one of the producers on the show, but all they want to do is praise Yahuwah or Yahweh. That's the way they want to spell it, the Yahweh version of it. And they didn't want their name to be put in there and anything like that. So that's really awesome. But then what we did, we told them like, well, you're going to take the check, we're going to hide it, put it in like a safe place. And if we get all the money that we need to make the film, then we will start cashing it and stuff like that. And what happened was we got the check, and I looked at the check and I read a certain number.
You read lower than the amount.
Yeah, I read 3,200. It's kind of what I looked at, like a first glance. So I put it away, and then we started feeling that there's some traction. There's some investors might be coming in, and so we're like, man, this might be happening. So we decided to open a bank account towards the film because she wanted to make a separate account. And we realized after we opened that if we don't put money into the account, then it's going to have what's it called, penalties.
It was already actually starting to deduct from us because we had no money in there. Because we didn't put our own money in there, where it was just empty. So we're just like, oh shoot, we might as well. So we emailed the investor and not investor, donor. She really isn't investing or whatever. But anyways, I said she. Whatever. No one knows the name.
That narrowed it down, though.
That narrowed it down. Sorry, guys. Anyways, I emailed the person and I just let them know we're going to put it in the bank account. And David happened to go in the bank that day.
Yeah.
I did want to add one thing, though. Within the first month, how do I say it? Whether this happened or didn't happen, one thing I was so proud of us about is there was so much contentment with just like,
if
it didn't happen, okay, then it's not God's will and there'll be something else, you know? And we actually got to that point, even though we were looking at the Indiegogo, when we saw Indiegogo only had like at that point, I think like $1,000. And we're like, well, maybe this is not the time for this. Maybe this is not God's plan for us. Well, that's fine then, you know? But then we go to the bank and go ahead.
Yeah. And so we decided to put, deposits of money into the bank account, and I gave the check to the teller, and she's like, oh, wow, it's going to take you a few days to get the money because it's such a big amount. And I'm like, a big amount? 3,200 is not that big of an amount. So I was like, okay. So I waited, and then she gave me the slip, and I'm like, 32,000? What?
He's like, I think there was an extra zero on it.
And then I actually had to go to the manager's office to get the online banking working. I'm just looking at the slip. I'm like, there is something wrong here. There's an extra zero there. I shouldn't be there. And so I went back to the teller after, talking to the manager, and she checked it, and she's like, no, this is actually 32,000. And then she showed me the check, and it was written down and written both like, number and the writing down. I was like, okay, cool. So we want to make sure for sure. We emailed a donor, and she agreed that this was what she felt like I was wanting to lay in her heart to give, which is amazing.
Wow.
Yes, thank you. If you're online, thank you again.
Yeah, thank you. If you're that person
watching right now.
Yeah, thank you so much. And they don't want any credit. That's why it's genuine.
Yeah,
for sure.
And so we have like that. The full amount is funded for the original documentary. We ended up getting more cast members that are further out, and so the money that's in the Indiegogo, which is like 16 something with the tax, is going straight into travel fund. But yeah.
You were about to add something. Are you
I'm just talking about that.
Oh, we did. We told you this earlier. We did do another Indiegogo to meet the other half of the travel because it's over the budget now, because the budget is very, very slim.
Yeah.
We realized it because
travel costs went up, and we were initially just going to New York area with David Weiss, and then just around where we live in Nashville with a few.
And then Georgia, but a lot of that stuff is like Georgia, you can try to drive there and stuff.
South Carolina.
We didn't expect to be flying to California.
Yeah.
But those people are amazing people, and some of the information they have is really going to be compelling because we actually watched they're doing like a little mini show thing or something like that. And from watching that and listening to the information they had on there, like it was excellent information, dude.
Yeah.
That's all I can say, actually.
Yeah, we brought Mark Sargent's on board now.
And then Shelly, he brought us
I think Shelly's gonna be on board.
I don't have her last name right now. And then two people that she knows.
We might be. We're looking into getting Jay Tolan.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so you guys reached out to everybody. You guys have been busy since we last talked.
Yeah, and we are speaking to some other investors to help us with bigger names as well. There are still two big names out there. Or is it three?
Yeah, we're still gonna try to reach out to B.O.B.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
What's his name? Eddie Bravo. And that one basketball player, what's his name? Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens if they're interested or not. If they truly believe in this, they want to.
There's so many more celebrities out there that know the truth because and they'll kind of hint at it, but they won't go full out because they don't feel like they have enough knowledge and they don't want to get embarrassed, and so they'll just say things and then they'll kind of back up. But that if they're talking about it, they're already all the way in. Usually, people like Mike Tyson and other people. I've heard other celebrities mention it, and then was that one person, that girl from Stranger Things? I can't remember her name now. She's one of the.
She believes in flat Earth. Someone from Stranger Things.
11, the little girl, the one that was she's Millie Bobby.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I
can't remember her name. It's driving me crazy. Because I watched the show the first couple seasons, but she said when she was like 14, she came on a video and was like, "I think I'm one of the flat earthers now," and with her little accent. And then I saw a video pop up, and it was like just her talking to these news reporters, and they're like, "So you said this when you were 14? Do you still believe it?" "No." "Okay." And that was the entire video. It was just her saying, "I regret that," or something. Like it was weird. I was like, why would the news go through whatever station it was? It seemed like a big one. Do that for like this little 20-second video. Like that's how damaging flat Earth is to them, that they have to bring her into their studio, get everything ready, and then ask her that so they can put it on TikTok and Facebook or whatever.
There's people who have the craziest beliefs, but yeah, flat Earth is one of those who are like, it's kind of interesting.
I personally think it has everything to do with being able to, like, I mean, I want to use a kinder word, but the best thing I can say is like indoctrination. They know that when you're younger, they want to get to you when you're a kid, so they can teach you all the way up, and so that you believe in this thing, and then you don't know the truth. You know,
if you like,
if
you like watch movies, you'll notice that there's always a globe in the background. They're always talking about yoga. They're always talking.
This is kids' movies, by the way. We watch
dinosaurs. There's certain things they always push for no reason, just randomly in the storyline. But there's actually one movie we watched had like 4 globes in the background, literally.
Wow, yeah.
Why do you need so many globes?
Yeah, even the weather, they've added a curved horizon to their weather. And my dad pointed that out. He goes, look, every time now they do that. And I don't ever watch the news, but I started seeing on the Weather Channel and everywhere, they always have a little curve in there.
Yeah, I just watched a little bit of the old Batman show, like the Camino 1960s or one of it.
Yeah,
just kind of skimmed through a little bit, and they had a globe there, and they talked about where Spec in the Infinite Universe. Those things are already being pushed at that time.
Yeah, and that whole move of infinite space, it actually started in the early 1900s. And it was part of actually Aleister Crowley's book. The demon was speaking, and it said it's a priest of infinite space. And I thought the Prince Beast. It even called it like the Prince Beast or something. So I was like, that is weird that these demons want their followers to even believe that there's this infinite space. And it kind of gets rid of that fear of judgment. You don't think there's this creator right above you. So they don't even want their own followers to believe in the firmament. They kind of want it to just be infinite space, and they want everybody to believe that. And it does make you feel further away from a loving father, further away from a judgment. And the whole book is about lawlessness and just doing whatever you want.
Yeah.
So to me, that makes a lot of sense. And that's where you started seeing the globes come into existence, and they're everywhere now. Globe factories, you just can't spit out enough globes. They're everywhere. I went to
we just saw a new commercial that had like there's a paint commercial or something like that, or car commercial. It was a car commercial. They're driving all the way up this mountain, and they get to the top, and there's people painting the sky. I don't know if you've seen that. I think it's like Kia or something.
Yeah. I was actually just about to add something. Oh my goodness. Remember.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I'll go back to it. I had something too. Oh no, when you're watching movies or TV, whatever it is, when you look at where the globe is and you think about your own life, how many people actually had a globe in their home? How many people actually have globes resting in their kitchen, in their living room, in their bedroom? It's interesting to see it in movies, because I'm just like, I walk into so many homes, and even globe believers, I don't even see a globe in there.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting that is always part of the set design, as if people really want that globe in their home, you know? So
this is crazy. Yeah.
My son wanted one the year before I woke up. He wanted one. He's like, I really want a globe, please. So we bought him this like globe that was like educational, allegedly had these buttons, and you could like touch different places and make different, like give you historic information about the world. And at that point we were traveling every summer. He wanted to see where we were going. And so that was.
We used to have one too. I actually
a wedding
gifted
present.
it. Someone gifted it to me, and I had it for that reason. Then we ended up getting rid of it, so we don't have any more.
Yeah, it was a wedding gift.
It was a wedding gift, but I would never have bought a globe.
Well, we like to travel, so they figured,
I did the same thing. I would spin the world.
Yeah.
And then I also had my flat Earth map too, though, guys, which is on the wall, and I put pinpoints of where I've been. I did have that too. So. Yeah.
I need to do that ASAP. Yeah, I know. I only use it now to disprove the globe. I think I used it the last time I used my son's globe, but we still have it it's like in the garage in storage, but to like look at the shadows of like a light source facing it, and you have objects when it's rotating, what do the shadows do? Because I was doing a time lapse of the sunset, and I noticed all the tree shadows would kind of like fan out like that. And I was like, it's interesting that. Let me see if I can replicate that on a flat surface with just moving the light source in a circle, and you get that every time. And then you get a globe and you try to replicate that, and the shadow just moves. Yeah. It just moves in a straight line. I was like, interesting.
Yeah, one of the big ones for me is like they're as video people, we kind of know, light, and every light when you shine it, there's always a hot spot unless you like diffuse it like crazy, and you still probably gonna have a hot spot.
Yeah,
there is no hot spot on the moon. So
yeah, I know. You guys being into film, I just wonder how hard it is for you to watch that Artemis mission stuff and just be like, man, why didn't they get somebody like at our level to say, here's what kind of camera you need. Here's what you know what I mean? Like, here's how you can adjust this so you can see the stars. And they don't do that. Like, it's just like,
well, with the weather,
57,000 miles away, and we'll set up a shot.
Well, the problem with that is like what the assumed temperatures up there, cameras are not going to function.
Yeah.
So that already like destroys everything. Even the analog cameras, it would never have worked on the moon surface at the time or through space.
Yeah,
whatever they claim. So it's just like it's hard to watch stuff sometimes.
Yeah, there was a world-renowned camera expert that broke it down and said this camera wouldn't have functioned in that environment.
Yep.
And he was like world-renowned. He wasn't even like known for conspiracy theories. He's just like, here's how those things worked. I'm an expert in this field, and here's this is why it wouldn't have worked. So it's like, man, tearing it apart.
Yeah. But yeah, we're so excited that we're gonna start another news thing we're gonna say is that we're starting to shoot in December, and Josh, is one of the first ones.
Be you.
Yes,
we're gonna be filming.
That'll be practice. The only expenses with me is you'll have to have like a top quality makeup artist. Other than that,
no, you're good, dude.
Yeah, it's a documentary.
It's a documentary.
Your own makeup.
Yeah, darn it.
That's funny.
I'm gonna have to watch DIY
we'll soften
videos.
the image and put some eyeliner on.
Yeah, it's guy liner. That's what I call it. Yeah,
that's really funny, dude.
Yeah, this will be fun. Yeah, I mean, I feel like the Father's always tried to prepare us to get out of our comfort zone and do stuff like this, because he's provided me with so many opportunities to do things like going live on here. My brother and I, when we turned 30, we got to be on national TV. That's another crazy story. I might share that when I share my testimony.
That's cool.
But yeah, I don't want it's like I'm still like in the secretive, like I don't want people knowing about everything about us just yet, because I always have that thought of let me get past this year, with my student loan forgiveness and everything. I think it's going to go through though. If my student loan forgiveness goes through this year, which it should. I've been a teacher for more than 10 years. Yeah. It should go through, and then I'll have more leeway. Like if this doesn't work out, I can do something else. I don't know what else I would do for a living. I would like to do ministry, but it's hard. It's really hard to make a living. I mean,
if we ever got a bunch of money, we'd want to do like a proper school where they teach, the true gospel, cosmology, and throw away all that nonsense, and then you can be the director of that school. It'd be kind of cool.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah. I've been wanting to do something with education, because I feel like I love being around the kids. I love being a part of that. I get to influence these precious lives, but it's always that juggling act of there's so much I can't say the way I want to say it. I have to be very crafty in how I word things. I have to be very good at doing what I can do without getting fired and without telling a lie to the kids. It's really it's a fun challenge. Sometimes I try to look at it as like a fun challenge. Like I have to be very inventive. And so it would be fun to do that with all freedom. If I had kids coming in and I was able to just speak the truth to them unfiltered, that would be a dream job. I mean, I think I feel like we could get so many people on board with that, and everybody would want to send their children there just for the wholesome environment where there's
I was just going to add
stuff.
I know that God actually wants that too. I don't know how we'd go about it, but you read in the scriptures and he says that if you teach them my ways when they're young, then they won't fall away once they get older, because you're teaching it. The reason why they like to teach kids what they teach them now when they're young, because they know it gets stuck like glue. And then when you're older, the reason why it's so hard for people to grasp some of that new stuff they're learning is, like I've shared with people often, it's like unpeeling an onion. You have to keep peeling through the layers, and it takes time to get down to that core again and get back to the original, the source to who you are.
The globe idea is like it's like Santa Claus. but it's
Yeah.
like Santa
It's a
Claus.
good example.
Santa Claus is still real. Well,
Yeah.
actually, he is real. He goes all the way down to Odin, but that's a different
Yeah.
story. But the whole idea that you grow up believing in Santa Claus and you're an adult, you still believe in Santa Claus, and then somebody tells you that Santa Claus is not real. Like, that'd be hard, you know, because
I couldn't imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you have like this whole like it's like they vision cast when you're a kid in school. They show you all this amazing like stars, and we're spinning this globe, and there's all this kind of stuff, and it just sticks in your brain, and then you just grow up in that, and it's just common knowledge, and then you're like, what? This is not right. And that's why I feel like that's why people get triggered so quickly.
I do want to add, just for the innocence of people not really knowing it, like if you are a teacher out there and you are teaching stuff that are like, I don't know, not true, like I feel for you and I understand that they know, or how do I say it? You've been indoctrinated without realizing it, and there's innocence there. I don't want this to be something where we're like banging on teachers, because there are some truthful facts in science, just not all of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like same thing with like geography, whatever it may be, whatever the case may be, there are some truthful facts out there and stuff. It's just the little tiny tidbits of stuff that they put in there.
I mean, they were taught, so they're teaching what they were taught. So it just kind of goes, it just, you know, spirals down, or, you know, so it's just one of those things where I get it. It's like, what is it called?
I taught my kids, and as adults, they have not strayed.
Yeah, I mean,
it's really good.
What is it called? In the Torah, it talks about you want to teach your kids, you know, the Torah, the commandments when they're young, and then they will not stray from it. That's kind of where the Proverbs talks about. So, you know, if you teach them proper Torah, which Genesis is in Torah, it talks about how, you know, the true cosmology from the beginning. And if you teach that, it's most likely going to stick. And if it doesn't stick, it's out of your hands anymore. But if you do it, that's what they want to, you know, the whole idea is to get rid of the family unit. You kind of make minimum wage so low that you need both the spouses to work, and it forces kids to be taught and raised by the school, and then in the after school program. So they're never at home being taught by their parents. All their parents do is go work hard, you know, sweat, and, you know, get super tired. They go home and they just want to relax. And there's no like no time to even support your kids. And it's just Babylon, you know?
Yeah, no, that's why I don't want my wife working, and people look at me crazy. Like, how can you make it? You know, you're one income family, you're a teacher, because nowadays like one income's hardly, not even really enough.
No.
But I think it's a blessing to me to have her here, and to have the kids have someone around giving them good morals and a good example to look up to. And they're still going to be exposed to things here and there that come on a YouTube video or somewhere, but to have that solid foundation and someone at home continuously, that to me, that's a big deal. I feel like it would be a waste of her time. I would rather struggle and barely get by and have her here. But people look at you so funny, like, really? What she, you know, and I hear moms all the time say, I'm just a stay-at-home mom, as if that's like not the most important job in the world. Like that's a
big
major
role.
I mean, that's why it's really good to have a school where it's teaching, you know, the good stuff. Like I was picking up my nieces and nephews at a Christian school. When I walked in, there was like a big globe, and then on the far end of the hallway, it was like a protruding globe.
Yeah,
and it says God's holding the world in His hands.
yeah,
underneath the globe, and I'm like,
yeah. You can't go around it in the science world. I mean, it's hard to teach a lesson and put a slide together. When you go to, you know, you're trying to set up your classroom beginning of the year, you type in environmental science pictures. It's always two hands, like you said, two hands with a globe. Save our globe. Everything, like the globe is in trouble. I'm like, I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what's really funny about that whole save the globe thing like that? Like it almost feels like they're just preparing for the end anyways.
Yeah.
Because the truth is we cannot save the globe from what's about to happen in the future, which we don't know when, but you know what I mean? It almost feels like that's the reason why they're pushing in our heads to do these things, because they think it's possible, but it's not possible. When God's wrath comes on the earth, it's just going to happen.
Yeah, if you just a quick plug to Kingdom in Context, they're talking about how if you read the extra books where it seems like God, you know, He regulates the weather with the doors and by an Antarctica area.
Yeah.
So technically, there's no global warming unless God is making it happen.
Yeah.
or anything like that, because he regulates the weather.
Yeah, he could cause a drought. That, I mean, there was biblical droughts and things. It wasn't because of global warming. Now they may look at that. They could find proof of that somehow and be like, well, you see there, that was global warming back then. And no, it's
Chicago's supposed to be flooded by now.
Apparently.
Yeah.
10 years from now. Yeah, I had a poster when I was talking about the globe being in trouble. I was going through all the posters because you inherit stuff as teachers retire. You just kind of inherit or steal a lot of their old stuff. And I did have the poster of the Challenger mission on my wall, and I had a globe. I didn't even realize that though, but it was that globe, and it was in a life preserver, one of those little rings, and life-saving floats. And it was like the globe's in there, and it's like, help, the globe is in trouble, like stop global warming type of deal. And now it's just comical. Like I keep it rolled up just for comical purposes because I know that's going to be so funny. I thought, man, as soon as this is mainstream, I could hang this back up and put some real posters next to it, like this is why it's in trouble. Like it really was way back when. I'm going through all the comments too. Yeah, Sean wanted to say sorry. He said sorry he wasn't able to help. He's got too much going on. I want to make sure I let you guys know.
We're still filming in the next couple months, so if anything changes, just email us back.
Has a window.
There's still a tiny window.
I'd love to have his because him and Wes Blaze made
Wes Blaze
and making a Seven Heaven model.
Yeah,
that'd be really cool to showcase.
And I would
already told him that, but yeah,
I would like to see a visual representation of the world without having it. You know how they usually have that really high dome, and it just looks like it would be sunlight everywhere. I would like to see one where it's almost like a clock. Like the face of a clock, where it's lower, and it's like you could actually move the light around it and see it. There's some like that out there, but it would be cool for people to get that visual and not see the disc and not see this giant high dome, like they can see it where it's really close. Almost like if you do it to scale, I mean, the way I believe it is, I mean, I'm not going to say I know the height of the heavens, but it just seems like it would be really close if you zoom way out. Like it would be so close to the surface that a light source would, reflect through the atmosphere or kind of shoot out through the atmosphere and light it up just perfectly. Because people are always, now that I'm putting out videos, I'm starting to get trolls on other social media platforms on Facebook and stuff where I'll send stuff out. And they always have the same questions. How does the sun go down? You just filmed the sun going down, blah, blah, blah. And what they don't realize is we're actually we're staring directly at the sun. When I film sunset at the beach, I'm not using a filter. I'm using my eyeballs to look at the sun and my camera to zoom in on it. And nobody questions why. Why can't I just stare at it? How come at noon I can't do that, but now I can? And it has to do with that water that's between you and the sun.
Yeah, it's more density. It's more filters.
Yeah.
If you look at a video, that's funny because that's one of the videos you showcased, and we did that. We filmed a wedding on this mountaintop, and it was really cold. But during the filming, I saw the sun get smaller and smaller at the sunset. I've never seen that. That was really, really cool. Another confirmation. That's when we were still like looking into flat Earth.
Yeah,
kind of
like a couple of years ago.
Curious about it and doing our own research about it. And that was one of the signs like, oh wow, that it does get smaller and smaller. It's not just a video that somebody made up. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, there's Sean. They're the ones they've got the firmament model with the seven heavens. Yeah. They have so much deeper stuff. That's why I wish like I could just afford to pay like Sean and to do stuff like that full time. And I mean, he does do it full time, but he's got so many different things. He's got the ministry, his app, and he's books, you name it. He's doing all sorts of stuff. Like
you're writing books too. What are you talking about?
You wrote one book.
I wrote a chapter. I wrote one chapter, and that took me all summer. See, I couldn't even imagine writing a book, doing a movie, doing like a screenplay and all the stuff you guys are doing, talking to people, being
quick plug.
Oh, look, there it is.
Here's the book.
Oh my goodness.
You got to read it.
They're about to sell out.
Are they really selling out? Are they doing good?
I don't know. I have no way of finding out. Matt's
stinks, dude.
He's the one that has the stuff set up. I don't know how many it's sold, honestly. But yeah, I got one too. Look right here. See?
He's all ready to plug it in, David.
Yeah.
So funny.
But yeah, I have I did one chapter and that was tough. So I couldn't imagine doing a whole book. But it does motivate you.
some really good stuff in there. It's like it's a good book to share, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, Matt did a good job of kind of making what I did look better and more entertaining, and like by putting like subheadings and stuff, because I just sent him like a bunch of paragraphs and was like, there you go. Make do with that.
Are you the school teacher though? Right?
I am. And I thought writing would be easy. I was
so
like, oh, I
funny.
could write. This will be easy. No, you sit down and try to write, and it's like I can speak it into a video, but writing it, I'm always unscripted. That's what I forget. And if I try to write something, it's like, to me, that feels scripted. And I'm like, so maybe I should just do voice to text or something. I thought about all these different things. And finally I was like, you know what? No, I'm just going to let it go and get past paragraph 1.
Hey, I'm not a writer either, but I kind of wrote the concept film.
I edited it though.
Yeah.
So I was like my first.
I went to
writing,
school for English and stuff, so I'm really good at editing.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you're like my wife. She's actually my. Every time I'm doing something, I'll ask her if I'm spelling it correctly, because I used to be really good at spelling until they came along with all the spell checkers, and I just forgot how.
Well, sometimes those spell checkers get it wrong.
They get it wrong a lot. I'm over here writing emails and stuff like that, and it's always trying to correct something, and I'm like, okay. And then I go with, and one time I actually went with what they said, and I'm like, okay, that's not what I was trying to say. So I went undo. So it's not always right, for sure. Oops, I bumped the camera. Sorry.
Yeah. Sky Love, they said, hi Josh, happy I caught you live. It's late here. I think it's like 1 where you're at, isn't it? I think I saw you say that earlier. Have you seen any videos, Vibes of the Cosmos? Actually, some people have recommended that channel, and I have. I'm trying to remember what it was about, though. I do that because somebody shared it, and I watched it, Vibes of the Cosmos. I'm trying to remember. I think they have a lot of stuff about the moon. Is that correct? I can't remember. That's the channel I'm thinking.
I never heard of it.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks for the super chat. It's a blessing. And if you guys are wanting to support the movie, the link is in the description. I hope the link still works. If it doesn't work,
I sent you a new link.
You sent me a new link? Let me.
Yeah. So pretty much what we have, we're still doing the film. We're straight go ahead. We just need a little bit of extra money just for the travel part to California and Seattle. I was actually looking at because we have to bring a bunch of gear, and so just to fly to New York is like $1,000. I was just
wow.
Okay.
It's over budget than what.
And so we're thinking about just driving to New York because it's so expensive for bags.
Yeah, it's expensive. Yeah,
and that's not including the skeptic flying, just us two with gear. The bags adds on because we need 5 bags to check in. It just adds up like crazy.
Oh yeah, because you guys are carrying all your portable movie production studio. I didn't even think about all that. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if we did either. No, just kidding. Well, it's one of those things when you try to budget something and you do your research as best as you can, but you don't know until you get there. And I actually learned this anyways from the indie film we did too, because the guy, the director and writer of that film, he started with a certain budget and he was like, okay, this is it. And this is it, but then it ended up doubling. Yeah. So it started at 50,000, ended up being 100,000. This isn't going to go that high, but do you see what I mean? Mm-hmm. When you're actually in the filming of it and doing all the work and stuff like that, it can change because you just, So sad on top and so Vibes. It says the moon is a plasma disk.
Yeah, that's
reflecting Earth's image.
Yeah, they have those little maps. Yeah, I've seen that is the channel I thought it was. Then yeah, they had some really cool.
There's that one guy who did redoing history of the Earth, and he mentioned the moon being like a reflection of the Earth. This is interesting. I just feel like need more concrete evidence to
I don't know who was the one that did about the moon and how the moon's
It was
cold.
that one guy who did I forgot his name.
I don't know. I just thought that was really fascinating because for the first time it makes sense because they say that the reflection, the light you see of the moon is from the sun, but yet it's not even warm. It's cold.
Yeah, it's cold light.
I'm talking about something else?
Yeah.
What am I talking about?
He's talking about
I knew he was. I was talking about school. I'm just bringing up something else that I thought was cool. That's it. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. It was Iwarnan who's I saw where it talked about that the moon is pretty much a map of the Earth.
It's pretty cool. The imagery they have on that channel is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Someone's saying that documentary. It's called The Lost History of Flat Earth.
That's it.
Seeing bits and pieces of that thing, and it seems so fascinating. I'm like, man, I'm glad other people have done stuff like that because there's so many things like that that people need to see. And the guy's voice is really cool the way he talks. Just like it lures you in. You're like, everything he says is cool. The way he
You got to
talks.
get the key, and unlock the. That's pretty
And
cool.
this is the truth about the earth. And I'm like, wow, how does he do that?
He did end up walking back a little bit to Tartaria stuff.
Yeah.
But still,
that's been hard for me to get into. I've tried and I just haven't.
The one thing I don't, care for about it kind of like the whole idea of that all history is fabricated. It kind of starts. If all history is fabricated, then the biblical history, is part of that history.
Yeah.
So it kind of starts attacking the Bible, and I'm not cool with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Now I know, like maybe the more recent history, it might be, meddled with, but like ancient history with, the crossing of the Red Sea, which there's archaeological evidence for, and Mount Sinai burning.
Yeah, the Red Sea crossing is a big one for me.
Yeah,
it's like I know that happened, and we don't have the technology to fake what that shoreline looks like. Like to melt that much sand.
Yeah,
like they would have to have done it way long. They would have done it so long ago. But when they fake something, they promote it, and they don't promote this stuff. They don't promote this evidence. Like they would be world news.
Yeah, you got Mount Sinai, which is like blackened, and then you have where they broke the rock when Moses hit the rock and it sliced in half for water to pour out. And then you have the chariot wheels in the Red Sea crossing, and then even Noah's Ark was found.
Yeah,
so
you never hear about it.
Yeah, and they but that is part of biblical history, and if you kind of question that, then you're questioning the Bible, and I'm like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, there's so many different avenues that can lead people astray. So I have to be careful if I ever promote something like that, and I don't know everything about it. I'm always, people will see it, and it could send somebody the wrong direction down a little.
I think that's the reason why God wants us to make sure that when you do learn something or whatever, test it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you do find it goes through a scripture, then you already know you're on the right path. You don't even need to question yourself anymore. Battery. Okay.
Uh-oh. You guys getting low on battery?
No, it's good now. It's like 1, but it should be fine.
We'll be fine.
We'll be fine. Just get it updated.
You shall be fine. As long as we can hear you. I don't know. Is your microphone connected to that?
No.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Okay, you're good.
Yeah.
You're good then.
So, I mean, I guess, does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, anybody have questions about the film? If I did use the wrong link, somebody in the comments let me know. If it doesn't work, I'm hoping I used the right link. I hope I didn't just copy from the last video, because I think that might have been what I did, was copy the link and paste it from the last time I shared your work. And so that link wouldn't work, right?
Yeah, because it's already, the campaign's over.
That's already over. Okay, so scratch that. The link right now doesn't work. I'll try to put the new one in there. I'll go through my emails and see if I can find it real quick. Also,
I have if anybody has any questions, also I want to ask if anybody has a better way of saying flat Earth. I like biblical cosmology, but it's not. I want to be more mainstream word. So maybe planetarium cosmology, or someone said true Earth. There's different ideas.
I like the biblical Earth model. That's one. It's almost because the Earth is just dry land, so it's almost like, for me, one of the reasons why I changed our name is because I felt that it wasn't as much biblical, because I was saying flat Earth, and Earth is just dry land, so it's really not flat. But the world as a whole is flat. I mean, it's not a globe. You've got all these different elevation changes that can be measured and have been measured, and the surface of the water has been provably flat. And so it's hard for me to stick to that name, because I almost feel like I'm not being 100% honest when I say flat Earth, because Earth is just dry land. And so when you hear the word Earth, people see world, and the world and the Earth are two different things.
Yeah. So if anybody has any ideas there, can throw them out there too.
Any suggestions? Try not to be mean. Try to be really good at giving feedback in a way that's kind. I think it's hard to do that. We were talking about that before we came on. People feel safe behind their computers to go in and say mean things, but you got to realize these are people. They're reading your comments. They have a heart. They do care. They're trying to help build them up. Build people up. Pray for them. Even if you think, oh, they're out to get us, pray for them. if you think you don't trust them, pray
You
for
know
them.
what's really funny? Sorry, another scripture
go
just
ahead.
came to mind. Like, we're not your enemy, but the scripture says love your enemies. So how do you love your enemies? You go out there and you bash them? Absolutely not. It's once again, I just want to add that to there. To yours.
Yeah, you mentioned that during Flactoberfest.
Yeah, it's cool, dude.
Yeah, I think it'd be awesome for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That would be really cool.
Put them in context.
Yeah,
that
would be really, really, really cool. I feel like we just need a huge crew. We need like animators. All this really cool. There's so many different cool videos and avenues we could go.
Yeah.
But instead of like traveling to Antarctica and stuff, which is like $40,000 a ticket, we would just need some like really good NASA green screen type of stuff going on to pull this stuff off. Like,
so our next project, one of them is we're trying to do Abraham before he was Abraham from the extra books, kind of going to.
Oh yeah.
And we want it. There's Babylon's incorporated in that. I mean, I want to showcase Babylon with the sphere.
Yeah.
Maybe even back there, people were like, why is there a sphere flying around over there? So that's kind of like one of our next projects we're excited about. But
there's some cool stories with that too, with the scripting with that. One of the books, I can't remember which book it is, if it's Jasher or I cannot remember which book it was. It was talking about Abraham, and the statues and all these different things, and it was pretty cool. I have to find it. And
it's a really cool story because he also went through a fiery furnace, and he actually knew he had to flee the Chaldean area, Babylon area and he hung out with Noah and his son, and he learned the commandments there. So he was not just some random person that God pulled out of the Chaldeans. He was one who followed the commands. He was a law abider all of his life, pretty much. And it's really, really awesome story. But that's different, a story for a different time.
Yeah.
Says does Fesiuk Films know if a wraparound green screen studios are for rent, or do they have to be built or owned individually?
You can do both. You can rent a studio space, or you could just buy a green screen, and they're really cheap to buy.
Yeah, real big ones. Like, it would be nice to have just an entire wall. Like,
now they do like LED screens. Where they film inside
really...
LED. You can kind of tell it's like it's good in some times, but in other times it just looks bad. Like, it looks like a small place. But yeah,
anyway. You're talking about it's like that big screen.
Yeah, that's like
I've seen that. Okay,
180.
It looks neat, but it's
LED screen.
You can tell if they overdo it in like a film.
The good part about that is that it kind of gives you the proper reflections on like surfaces, like helmets or stuff like that. The bad thing is it's easier to fake stuff.
Yeah.
Space. That's why Elon Musk, I think he kind of like was dabbling in something like that when he did the whole car going into space without any modifications where the pressure in the tires would have like popped or whatever.
We didn't test it to see if it was space hardened or whatever.
But so that's kind of what they do now, is it's like a half room where people can, and they kind of extend the set with real engine. But it's good and bad. So
no, I hear you.
So those people who can't tell that's fake now, it's gonna be harder to tell later.
Oh, I'd say that's what I'm really curious about, why they're going with this approach with the Artemis mission, to have it to where it's so low quality looking, where they keep adding these little glitches, and the Earth and Moon will just like change shapes. It's like,
I feel like
round,
maybe
it's flat.
They want you to kind of know. Maybe that's what it is.
I think they want you to feel like it's authentic. When there's mess ups and glitches, it's kind of like documentary. When you have a documentary, it's shaky footage.
Kind of like
blurry in and out, blurry, that kind of thing. They want to make you feel real and authentic. That's what I feel like they still do that. And also, they're trying to hide imperfections and mess ups, the real mess ups that they don't want you to see.
Yeah,
those are the things that I feel like they're trying to do there.
It's interesting. Yeah. I know some topics, though, they like to hide it in plain sight, though. Kind of thing. That's what I was thinking. I don't know.
They like to, mock people.
I know.
Because you're not, in the know.
Yeah. I just feel like they're laughing at behind the stage, behind that Wizard of Oz curtain back there. Like, oh my gosh, people are buying this. We're just putting out. They've probably got some fake moon on a string, and like this. It's just so ridiculous how fake it looks, and they've got to be laughing.
I mean, they've had people from Hollywood laugh at the whole topic on talk shows and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like little hidden
Jim Carrey was laughing about
jokes,
it,
like little tiny punches at it. So they're definitely laughing sometimes. I think.
Yeah. Sean was asking, what type of distribution channels will Origins have beyond content creators in the community?
Oh, that's something we're working on, distribution. I think he wants to know where it's going to be distributed.
Oh, well, we're trying to go through an independent distributor. We have a guy in mind, but we want to have stipulations where they can't doctor the footage. They can't change anything. They also can't buy it or,
buy it and store
it and stash it, because that's what they do too.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of things they'll do. If they don't want something to happen, they'll buy the rights to it and they'll just stash it for years.
Wow.
So when we do the contracts, you can't touch the footage, you can't take away stuff, and you can't stash it. You have to show it within the year.
Wow.
Can't
hide it with the Apollo footage.
Yeah, because we want at the end of the film, I'm gonna have say, if you want to know more about this cosmology, go to this website, and it'll be our website, and then we're gonna put more information that they can actually go into, different people who are actually doing more detailed, in-depth, research and testing and stuff like that.
So to answer that question, we actually plan to get it distributed as far as we can.
Yeah.
So it'll be also, what is it called? Foreign and then American.
Yeah, foreign and domestic.
We're going to go
right
for
away.
it all.
Yeah.
Let's see wherever it sticks, because sometimes people won't want to take it because they don't like the outcome of the documentary. Because it's going to be, reality is going to be pro, what we believe.
Yeah, it's not going to be below the curve or behind the curve. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Or maybe it should. It'd just be the opposite. We shouldn't see this laser, but we do. That's interesting.
Well, the fact that God is helping this to be provided for and making this happen tells me that I think it's going to be put in places maybe we least expect. I'm going to believe that.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, that's what I'm hoping.
Because I didn't expect it to be funded,
We didn't expect to be funded overnight. I mean, the dream said it would, but you just never know. Because there was another movie in the past that we tried funding, but it was with a friend, and this was a couple of years ago. This is before we had some understanding on certain topics like flat Earth and other stuff. But long story short, try to get funded. We had people involved that were wanting to fund it, but they never just do it.
Back out. A couple of times people backed out, and then COVID happened, and then people backed out then. So
but we kind of looked at it as an example with it. Maybe this is just, this particular topic is God's word. It's his truth. This is why he's like, okay, though, here you go. This is what I want you to do right here,
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe the other one will still happen. We're still hoping for it, because it could be good funding for us,
I mean, we did have dreams in the past where it came true, where we'd have simultaneous dreams, and God was telling us a message that was going to happen in the near future. So, in the back of my mind, this actually can happen.
I remember saying that I thought it was going to.
This happened in the past, but you know how it is. Funding. So, but it's really awesome how it turned out.
Yeah.
But the cool part about it, like she said earlier, is that even though we had it and we didn't know we had it, we still talked about how God likes to work with small numbers anyway.
Also,
so if it's going to happen, it's God's will.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
even with Malachi, where first if they how they drink the water, you got to cut them out.
Yeah.
Like that.
They were always outnumbered. His people were always outnumbered, and it was never a big deal.
And if you read the extra books, there's even more wilder stories how Abraham's sons they would fight a bunch of people with a few people, just 5 sons would just destroy a whole city. It's a lot of cool stories like that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because God wants to show his glory.
Yeah, that's what to me I feel like that's why he wanted me to show this. I was like, if you want me to show this to the world, just bring them this direction so that all I have to do is the work. All I have to do is make a video about it and say, here's the firmament, look at it, and he did. I mean, it was just something, he opens these doors for us and blesses us, and all the haters can come along. It doesn't matter if he's going to bless you. He's going to
Yeah.
He's going to open it up for you. And so that's what looks like is happening. And we just got to be patient. And I feel like this will be the start of something big if there's enough time left, or this may be a tool used to help wake up those who need to see it right before the return happens so they can understand what's about to happen. I feel like we're kind of running out of time. This is like our last swoop to get people back to truth and back to the Father so that they will know what's around.
Yeah. When it clicks, it's going to click. You can't go back.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've noticed. But yeah,
I do want to add something because it just kind of hits with what you just said, but it's a topic of how I know we could be in that final season, but it's like the parable of the vineyard maybe talks about it.
Yeah. Oh, it's the prophecy.
The one about oh my goodness.
It's about like
when the fruits come to the fruit and they come closer to the tree.
So it says, like I think it's it might be in Enoch. What could be next to talk about? In the last generation, there's going to be his people are going to come back to the truth, back to the commandments. And in that generation, that's the last generation when Jesus can return. We feel like this is the generation.
I do too.
Yeah.
I know some people have different opinions on it and stuff like that, but I feel like there's a lot of people going back to
it's just like how many years has it been since people have been coming and finding out about the earth again? You know what I mean? What it's supposed to look like and stuff like that. It just feels like it's the last, I'll say 15 years that I know of. Maybe it's been longer than that. I just don't know.
I think within the next 60 years. I think.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I feel like it's pretty wicked out there, but it can get worse.
Yeah.
You know, and if we actually kind of look into some of Rob Skiba's ideas where it's like the Nephilim coming back, that kind of like breeding, mixed breeding with humans and animals and those kind of things. It's going to take, I feel like they're dabbling in that, but it's not like mainstream. And also there's not mainstream like sacrifice going on.
Yeah.
Like that.
You have to find out about it by doing research and that stuff. It's been going on. It's the stuff we read about in the Bible just now. They're not as open as they were back then in some ways.
Yeah.
But about other things, they're kind of getting more open, which shows me they're leaning towards that. I mean, you've seen with the abortions in our lifetime going from, it's just kind of secret. People do it. It's legal now to, right up until they're born, or maybe right after. Who knows? It's just kind of like it's getting to where we're getting closer to like child sacrifice, and we know that the smiting of infants in the womb was taught by the fallen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Literally says that in Enoch, and so.
I mean,
something taught by demons. It's crazy.
Yeah, they've been grooming us with witchcraft since we were kids. Like when we were kids, it was Disney, and my parents would not want us to watch that kind of stuff. Witchcraft was just like a no-no, right?
Yeah.
Now it's like no big deal. You got Diana, God, a Superwoman, and you have Thor and all these superheroes, but they're all, pagan deities. And witchcraft is just becoming normality right now. You have, in TikTok people and Instagrams and just let's do
witch talk
or whatever. And that's what they slowly do generational, progression. Now they're going into like transgender. That's more of they're starting to push that now. We're pushing back, but whenever our kids, well, we don't have kids yet, but whenever they grow up, it's gonna be a normality. That's kind of what they're doing. It's more of a slow progress.
Yeah.
But in these last days, I feel like they're pushing it, making it more like quicker because their time is coming. So but
Rico said
someone commented about Rob Skiba's.
Yeah, they asked if his documentary was still going on. I think it was
what
called.
Is his
it's like it's like animation thing.
Oh, I have no idea. I don't have the answer to that myself.
Some kind of seed program.
I know people want to support it, so if it's I do believe it got some support, and I don't know the exact outcome or.
Well, he had one episode funded.
Yeah.
For it, and he was working on it with some people. That's all. Last time I, looked into it. I mean, it was like last year.
No idea,
man. It's a good question. I would like to know about that. If Rob Skiba if his documentary's done. I know his wife has taken the reins and his son. And they're keeping his channel alive, doing the Bible Church videos live like he used to.
Skiba News.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I like that they're doing that. I still get that excitement. Like, it's a Rob video, you know, like I just get that like instant, like he's still here. It takes a second to be like, oh wait, no, they're doing this for him. It's good. We need to.
I'm sure he's definitely missed, Rob Skiba.
Yeah, for sure.
So.
He did some really good work.
He would have probably helped you guys out with this video. You know, I would have loved to send somebody like him.
Well, we would have wanted him in it.
Yeah, I would have wanted him in it.
So, it's just how it is, you know.
Yeah, he's not in front of the camera. He doesn't seem to be phased whatsoever. It could be a news crew or he's just cool, just laid back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he had really good stuff. How he shared about, you know, the Nephilim and stuff. That was just eye opener whenever I started looking into it.
Yeah, hundreds of thousands. I mean, I would say more than hundreds of thousands of people woke up to the truth about creation because of his work. People that were already following him, looking into it, because he was one of those people talking about it that I would have never, like seeing a Flat Earth video, I probably would have never clicked on it. But seeing him talk about it made me think, what is going on? Why is this guy talking about this topic? And so I watched his video, and fortunately, it was the early days. He was skeptical. He was just asking questions. And that's when the Father spoke to me. He was like, this is true. Look into it. So I think that people don't realize it, but people out there that have followings like that, man, it's powerful. And he lost money. Like people like that, like they have nothing to gain from that. He lost money. He lost book sales went down. Like people are like, I'm not going to buy from this guy. You know, like he wasn't in that for financial gain. And a lot of people in the early days, they saw us and they'd be like, you're just doing this for the money. I'm like, if I wanted to make money, I would join the debunkers. Like YouTube would send people my way, you know.
Right.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. It's funny how like I've seen people say, oh, this person's doing it for the money. He's being YouTube, but they're the one doing YouTube stuff too. So they're like talking about themselves. All they're doing is for money. I was actually watching one of Wits It Gets It videos, and they're talking about how he's there just to make money, and that yet they're the ones in the same thing. So,
it's the worst retirement plan ever if you want to make money with this content.
No,
like
it takes a lot. Like I actually helped a friend of mine. Well, he became bigger on YouTube. I was helping him grow his channel. But initially, when you're starting off, it's hard to make any money. You're like barely scraping through, and you gotta get big, and then you gotta get sponsorships, and because like the ad revenue just alone is not well enough unless you have a lot of subscribers and a lot of viewership. So it's not just like, oh, big money right when you become a YouTuber. It's not that simple. It's really it has to be a passion first for people. And like a lot of flat earth people we see today, they're not big enough to even make a dent. So it's like people just don't understand. No. They just make stuff up or have an idea or assume things. That's the problem we have today. We assume things. It's something I've been working on too. Like I'm assuming somebody believes a certain way or thinks a certain way about me or whatever the case may be. You got to figure out that's true or not before you start to assume things, you know?
Yeah, I know. This is a good person. I don't know if you guys ever watched Woke Town, and then his channel name changed to Matt Long. He was he's a really good presence in front of the camera. He's really smart. But his channel got taken down, and I hate that because he had some good stuff up. I'd like to, if you guys, he was living in Canada. I don't know if he still is. I think they died.
We're still here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we still
you can keep talking. We're still here. He's going to change the battery.
Okay. But yeah, he's a real good one. If we could reach him, his channel was down. I hope he's doing okay. I haven't heard from him in a while, but I'll see if I can get in contact with him, how close he is, and possibly get somebody like him on board too, because he's a really good one. Lots of good personalities out there. Somebody said Zen Garcia. Something about Zen Garcia. Yeah.
I got the mic.
We're back.
Welcome back, guys.
Yeah. Thanks, Sean. Yeah, this is we need a lot of prayers and support for this, because this is when there's something good like this, you can bet that the enemy's going to try to step in, stop it, cause problems along the way, but that the Father keep everything the way it should be and smooth, and the weather great, everything working out good. If we do a laser experiment or whatever happens, that everything works out good and the conditions are great, because we're going to need it.
Sorry, I always break.
It's okay.
But we're going to do our best to put our best foot forward, and it's in God's hands after that.
Yeah.
So we definitely hope that it gets as much eyes as possible to where they're like, huh, interesting.
Hi, Glowbusters.
Bob? Yeah, Bob's got a good video presence.
Yeah, we
he sounds educated.
Hi, Bob.
Bob's interested a little bit.
Yeah.
We still want him on board. He's close,
Coco's
which is
coming.
great too. But yeah, so far we have you guys.
I forgot about that. He's close to you all.
Yeah, he's about maybe an hour or less.
Nice.
But we talked to him, and Karen B, she's interested. But for now, we have you guys. Witsit gets it.
Can you see her back there? Lean back. Oh, you can't see her. Go the other way.
Your dog.
Well, we're kind of.
I remember your dog. Is that the dog you guys brought to Tennessee?
She's our dog right now.
No, that dog, he passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was a rough year this year. He passed away. My dad passed away the same year.
Oh my God.
Our neighbor found this dog in a ditch, and so they're about to take her back to the pound, and we're like, no, we'll just hold on to her. Maybe we'll find somebody who will adopt her. So far, we're the only adopters. So she's wearing a little diaper right now because
she just started her womanhood. She's a puppy.
Oh no!
But it's not that as bad as you would think it is. Like it's actually been really easy. She's just a little bit more needy, meaning she always wants to be with me and stuff like that right now.
That's happening to my sister's dog, like right now, to the in heat part. I'm like, we can't have any more puppies.
Yeah, so we're not really into putting anything into animals. Let them.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of made some decisions. We were already doing that with Juno back in the day.
Yeah, we didn't
like the last few years, a lot of years actually. We decided not even do any of the vaccines and stuff, and it's mostly because I don't read it anymore in the Bible where you need that for your animals.
No,
I mean, I don't know. This is way before they even start doing the COVID stuff or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Is it okay I said that on here?
Maybe.
Guys,
delete that part. Can you edit that out?
We support everything the world.
I support everything. I'm just good.
Now, one of the things we like to talk to people about is people think you can catch things or pass things on. One of the things we say is that Jesus would have not spat in the dirt and rubbed it on somebody's eyes if he knew that somebody's going to get germs and get sick.
Yeah, I've been teaching that a lot to people, and people have their eyes been opening just a little bit to that. There's a whole new topic. We've actually kind of talked to you about it a little bit, maybe.
Yeah.
When we were with you at Oktoberfest, but there's a whole new topic when it comes to
mind renewal, but
with your health. And I think a lot of people are always searching. We talked about this. They're always searching for the whys because they're always looking for the why. They're always looking for that one thing that's going to heal them when that one thing is always Jesus.
Karen, we want you in it.
Hey, Karen.
We know you have a lot going on, but too bad.
No, it's definitely the project's definitely happening. We got funding for it. We're just excited about it and want to make sure we be able to travel out west too for it. But yeah, it's really, really exciting.
Coco, come here.
Big stuff. Yeah, this is really for people just tuning in. If anybody's just tuning in, this is huge. Last time we were here with these filmmakers, it was kind of like we need support, and now it looks like we're getting it. They just need a little bit more, and I'll try to update the link in the description so you guys can support this project. I want it to be flawless. I don't want them stressing about money. I want them just to relax and be able to go through with it and have it compete with those bigger names and bigger. I don't want it to lack anything due to funding issues, because I know that's a big part of film, and a lot of people don't see that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked how much travel cost is.
With gas prices going up.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be a little bit less. Whenever we used to travel, I used to work at Delta, so I had flight benefits. So travel cost was really cheap. So I kind of forgot what it is, how much it takes to travel. And then when we traveled to see her dad, it kind of racked up a little bit. And then when I looked it up, when you have to add all these bags, extra bags for the gear, I was like, oh wow, $1,000 just to New York City.
Dang. So do you guys have like a van or something, or do you have a little car? What do y'all travel?
Yeah, we have a car. So we're like, all right, we're probably gonna drive to New York City to save $1,000.
Yeah, and it doesn't help too the time we're trying to fly. Yeah, it's the best time for most people because people are taking vacations, time off work for the holidays. So December, January, and then also we want to film it and get it done so we can edit it in our slowest time too, which is like from January all the way to I want to say April, because sometimes we start picking up stuff in March. You know. Sorry, we're reading the comment.
Sorry, that was I just pulled up Sean's. He said, if we could have it ready in time, when would Fesiuk Films need Uncommon Grounds firmament model for filming and review?
Probably by February.
Is that when you're planning on having it done?
Yeah, we want to film you guys and Matt Beaver. He's in it too now.
Yeah, he was excited. He's like, guess what?
I'm going to be in a movie.
No. I'm going to be famous. Step away. Get out of my room. Yeah.
So we're driving down to you guys first, and then probably haven't confirmed with Austin yet, but then we'll go down there, and then in January we're probably going to go to New York and do David Wise. We're going to film in New York, and then
we're going to do Seattle Mark.
Over there in January.
All over.
And then the people we were telling you about, we just watched this thing that Shelly shared with us that we want to film her in California.
Yeah, Flatlanders. It's really cool.
The pizza place?
Yeah, they have Flat Earth pizza.
Dude, we need to get a Flat Earth pizza out here. I saw that and I thought it was the sweetest thing I ever heard of.
I mean, Asheville would be a really cool place for that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hippies out here. So
a lot of hippies.
Well, people are like, dude, this is cool, man.
That's funny.
Yeah, we reached out to ODD. He didn't respond. He's kind of like going through something right now. So he has
ODD, yeah. I hope he's doing all right.
Yeah.
Coco, come here.
Definitely keep him in your prayers. This whole channel thing he's having problems with the channel and stuff.
God, I hate that. It seems like the people who are just like really talented and really good at sharing truth. They seem to be under the most attacks with everything.
Yeah.
Rico said,
I'm going to go stop her real
always quick. Backwards. I'm looking at Michael, not Josh right now. This is Josh. How dare you? I met you again at Flattoberfest to confirm. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. This is Josh. I forgot. I thought our names were on the screen, but I don't see them. I forget.
Say hi?
I forget which one I am. I was actually leaving. I was at my sister's little birthday party before I came here, and me and him both have little black cars, and I went down in his car and tried to take off, and I realized I was in the wrong car. Like, man, I forgot who I was for a second.
Well, before you were showing your face, Josh, Sarah thought you were an older man.
Oh,
yeah, I know. Yeah, a lot of people were like,
voice.
"Oh my gosh."
It was your old voice. No, it was.
You sound like a nice old man.
So I just only listen. Like David did a lot of the YouTube watching. I just listened to in the background while I was like doing stuff, cleaning or whatever. I remember hearing your voice. I'm like, oh, what a sweet old man. You sound so nice.
Yeah. Poor grandpa. I am a grandpa, so that's I got.
You're not an old man. You're like the same age as us, I believe.
I'm really old for my age.
No, you're not.
You guys are
what
what,
are you
30?
Like 25?
Yeah, I'm 28. No, I'm
You're
actually
28?
almost. I'll be 40 on my next birthday.
Okay.
I'm getting old.
So I'm 36.
Oh man, you guys are young. I knew it.
Yeah. No,
Respect
goodness.
your elders.
Yeah.
I'm in my early 30s too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you, Bob. I know, massively under attack. Like I'm telling you, when you're a threat to the darkness, man, they are going to attack and make you feel like you don't want to do what you're doing. And I think I've had times like that. And I know you guys probably have times where it's like, why are we going to dedicate ourselves to this project when people are so negative or this and that? You know, and to me, I look at it like spiritual attacks and just block it out. Don't let it rob your peace, you know, keep pushing on. I'm very blessed that you guys have decided to keep pushing on. You don't really, not going to look back. And if everything takes off, I know you're going to stay humble and awesome. You're not going to.
Our main thing is just to, share God's message. And if this film wasn't going to happen, it was not going to happen. It was His will. But our main thing is about the truth. We want to share the truth regardless of what people say.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we want to do our creator a service, you know. And hopefully if one person changes their mind, one person realize that where they live is not what they thought it was, but it's different, then that's the whole point of the whole thing.
Yeah. It's worth it. Like you said, even if it's just one person, it doesn't seem like a lot. I kind of forget that sometimes with the shadow ban. It's like, man, I used to reach, 200,000 people in one video in a week, and now it's like you're only reaching 10,000 or 8,000. And I would get like bummed out. But then I'm thinking, you know what? If I had a little small church building here in town and I was going there reaching 20 plus people back in the day, I would be excited for that, And here we are reaching people around the world. And my goodness, it's like what social media allows us, even just regular people that don't have a massive following, to reach 20, 30, 40 people a day, just putting out little glimpses of light and truth every now and again, just planting little seeds. Like we all have to, I was thinking about that today. We all need to really focus on stepping up our game because we are getting divided, cut off, shadow banned, and all of that. We don't have room to be calling people out in the truth community, to be labeling someone a shill or doing all these different things, all these different distractions. Just focus on, like you said earlier, Sarah, praying for your enemies, speaking light, speaking good things to people in our community. We need that more than ever. And it's so easy to get divided. When I went to Flattoberfest, people are like, don't go there. There's all these new agers and all this stuff. Like, we need to go to these places and be around people. And
how are you going to preach the gospel if you're always just hiding at home, or you're just only with the believers,
or being so mean to people and rude?
I can't even give you the number of how many people I talked to at the Flattoberfest, and I talked about God and I talked about Jesus, and that was my main topic. And I talked about the movie too, but mostly I was talking about the Bible. And there's a lot of people, like, you know what I mean? So it's like, what are you supposed to do? Just sit at home and just do nothing?
I mean, what does the adversary do? He divides and destroys and kills and steals, So that's what he wants everybody to be divided. Yeah. And what does Jesus say about a house divided, what does not stand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got to be united. You got to be in a united community too. But here's the cool thing about it. Even though you were shadow banned, I still found you in your video and conspiracy.
Taboo conspiracy. Yeah.
Your videos is what, helped me realize where we lived. But I even watched that one guy, that martial arts guy, where he infiltrated the Flat Earth conference in Denver. I watched this whole documentary. That still didn't sway me against it.
Wow.
I just realized in the end that he was making fun of it, but I wasn't here to see somebody make fun of it. I wanted to know the truth. So I kept on looking into stuff. So, sometimes God will make sure the people who he wants to find will find it regardless.
I'm going to step up.
So that's the good part about it.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Coco's ready to play. Oh my goodness.
Dog. You want to be a superstar, don't you, dog? Yeah. Celebrity dog.
So funny.
She just took a nap.
Oh no.
Come here. Come here real quick.
Yeah, I mean, we talked to a lot of really, really nice and open-minded people, and we shared a lot about like how to renew your mind. What does that look like? Because like when I grew up, and when I read that scripture, it's like, just renew your mind. I'm like, what does that mean? They're like, I just read the Bible. Okay. But what does that look like practically? Like, what does it look like in your everyday life? And that's something we like went into. We kind of found how the Bible has a lot of stuff that neuroscience is talking about, that how it kind of shows you how your mind works and how you can renew your mind. Yeah, it's a good daily process and stuff. But we talked to a lot of people at Flattoberfest who were open about that, and scriptures talks about that and stuff. And there's just so many kind people over there. I was really shocked in a good way that people were really nice there and more just friendly.
I think he got a visitor now. Who does he have?
Daughter.
You got your little puppy? I've got my precious little daughter.
Hi, sweetie.
Say hi.
I talked to you on the phone the other day. She's so cute.
Yeah. She took a message for me. She said Matt and Candace called, and I was like, no, they didn't.
That was Sarah and David.
Yeah.
Hi. She's super cute.
She's too adorable. All right, be careful. All right, you're free. Go play.
That's funny, man.
It's green.
What is that?
She found her brother's old Hulk gloves.
Oh.
They're green, and we're on a green screen, so I'm surprised you can even see them at all.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in space right now.
I'm in space. I'm floating.
I like how David does a really good job.
Yeah.
Weiss, how he like kind of floats
He inspires
around.
me. I think I could work at NASA now.
That's funny, dude.
Daddy, would you like some tea? Daddy.
Some tea? Yeah, this is the tea office. Sure, I would love some tea. But yeah, I know this is getting late, so I know we can cut this off.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got a tea party. It looks like coming up.
Funny.
I would love sugar and creamer. Thank you, precious. Yeah, I told my wife, I said, this cannot become the playroom. This has to be an office. And now there's a tea set in here.
Our office is our dining room, so
yeah. Where our what is it?
we're in
apartments.
we're in a 1-bedroom apartment.
So the office we split in half with like a bookshelf type thing, and then you have your living room. It's okay though. We still feel blessed.
No.
We're good.
Yeah, you guys got a nice place. Let's see. Yeah, so I agree with you, Sean, about that. Yeah, this topic, and people would always be like, what does it matter? But yeah, more and more. I've never seen, it's like casting that net to the other side. I've never seen so many people drawn in by any other topic to the truth about creation. I could have shared so much love and so much, tried to do all these different things and talked about the Bible, and people just weren't ready for it. And it's like the Father's like, okay, this will bring them back. this will show them.
I just feel like some people, we're all looking for something, and I feel like we found it. We who believe in the creator of the Bible, but other people are looking for stuff too. And I just feel like eventually we're all gonna know,
Yeah.
But yeah.
Sorry, had to mute myself for a second. But yeah, I'll go ahead and get off here because I know she's ready to play. And
that's okay. Our dog's ready.
You don't want to play, you don't have a party. Yeah. But thank you guys again so much for putting yourselves out there, doing all this.
What's that?
It's a bell pepper. It's green.
It's not a bell pepper.
It looks blue from here.
Yeah.
It's not a bell pepper.
Putting a green in front of a green screen.
It's not a bell pepper.
What is it? It looks like a bell pepper.
It's not bell pepper.
What is it? It's a squash. It's a squash. I stand corrected. This is a squash.
It looks like you weren't holding nothing.
I know. Yeah.
Bacon?
There's bacon.
Bacon?
Unclean meat. We've got fake unclean meat. It's not good. Yeah. I'm about to eat. I'm about to feast. But yeah. Anybody have any questions for our filmmakers before we go? I will definitely update the link. I tried to find it in an email just a second ago. I couldn't find it. But a new link will be added. So don't be frustrated if you tried to support and you could not. I want that to be a thing that happens. And I want the support to just keep flooding in along the way.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to say, if you have any other ways of saying flat Earth without saying flat Earth, a better wording for it, you can write that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Share your wisdom, guys. Share your wisdom. Share your words. Share your thoughts. You never know you could spark something that ends up in the movie. Like this is a chance to reach filmmakers who are going to reach people. Don't take that for granted.
No lettuce. No lettuce.
So
invisible lettuce.
Josh, your head's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm holding.
That's funny.
Don't one eye us.
Oh yeah, that'll end up in a screenshot. The one eye symbology.
Oh,
we knew it.
That's terrible.
Yeah. The creation model. There's Sean's input. I like that. We'll call it that. The creation model.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good.
Oblate flatoid. That's a good one.
That's funny.
Kind of reminds me of what's his face, the
Wash
that
it
one
down.
scientist guy, the pear shaped.
Yeah. The pears.
Hey, Daddy,
It's a
who
Blake.
is the secret
It's funny because
ingredient?
the Artemis went up there.
I made
They
you
still
eat a
had you
secret
on
ingredient.
It's funny that the Artemis mission
Like
went up there, but the
secret
Earth is
ingredient. I
not
made you
pear-shaped.
eat it.
Yeah,
Dad, I
it
made
did
you
become
eat
kind of
the
flat though. At
secret
one point, it was shaped like
ingredient.
this.
I made you eat
This is the
it.
funniest
Hey,
one.
Pooh.
This is the funniest into a live
Trying to give you bacon.
Yeah,
How dare
give
she?
me unclean meat.
Does
on
this
purpose.
happen often on your live streams?
Just now as she's done it before. She's made her appearances. Usually though, she just kind of sits in my lap and looks at everybody. She's hyper and I should have locked the door, but
It's
my door doesn't
It's
lock.
just cute. It's really
Children
cute.
are joy.
She's adorable. She's
Yeah.
my joy. She's my boss.
Ice cream?
Ice
I'll
cream.
have some ice cream.
You guys are getting a free sample of all of the lovely things we
I
eat
want
here.
ice cream too.
It's what keeps us going.
You can eat up.
All right, baby girl, we got to finish this video out. I love you. She knew.
That's
All right.
funny,
Well,
man.
it's been fun. We've been on here for an hour and a half,
Oh my goodness.
hearing some word. So yeah,
Would
that's
you
good.
like a hot dog, Daddy?
Yes, thank you, precious. Thank you. All right. Well, it's been fun. I'm going to go ahead and end the broadcast. We'll hang around and I will get some more information from you guys. If anybody has any questions, send us an email. Our email is in the description.
Bye.
If you want to support
Bye.
them, I can give you their information. Yeah, you can say goodbye to everybody. Her
Bye.
hair's a mess. But she's still
Bye.
beautiful.
Can't get up.
Aww.
There's some beauty.
Just in you.
Believe it or not, she's related to me.
No.
All right. See you guys. See everybody at home.
Bye.
Thanks for
Bye,
tuning in.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.